Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade 6 math. So you can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password is provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab, scroll down to grade 6 and then click on view all lessons. So there you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter integers. Please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. So let's just start with the chapter integers. Okay, so first we are going to start. What do you know about the integers? So what do you know about the integers? Integers are the numbers that include zero, positive numbers and negative numbers, right? You can note down the definition of the integers. I'm going to write it on the board, right? Integers are the numbers that includes positive 0, positive numbers and negative numbers, right? So that means the integers are like this. The 0, sorry, not number, 0. Here you have positive numbers on the right hand side, positive 1, positive 2, positive 3, 4, and 5. Either you write positive sign or without positive sign. That is same, right? And on the left hand side, you have all negative numbers, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 5, right? So these are the integers. They include 0 and positive and negative numbers, right? Okay, so why we use the positive and negative numbers, right? The question is, so sometimes we have the scenarios where we have to use the where we have to represent the scenarios with the positive and negative numbers, right? For example, you have a loss of $5, right? So how do you represent a loss? Usually the loss or the reductions are represented by the negative numbers. That means negative 5. The negative 5 tells you that 5 is a loss, right? So whenever you have to represent the um, positive numbers are used to represent, you can note down this very important line. Positive numbers are positive numbers represents increases or profit. Positive number represents increase or profit, whereas the negative number represents the loss or reductions, right? Negative numbers represents loss or reductions, right? So whenever you have to represent a reduction, always use an loss or reduction, always use a negative number. And if you have to represent an increase or profit, use a positive number, right? Okay, so let's just start with the first lesson, that is in understanding integers, right? So okay, which integer represents the scenario? 2 gallons increase in volume. So which is the correct option? that is an increase, right? Increases are always represented by the positive values. So the correct option is 2, right? Very good. Okay, the next one is which integer represents the scenario the 1 degree below 0? So which is the correct option? Which is the correct option? Below 0 means that would be a less than 0, right? Below 0 means the number, yes, very good, that would be a negative number. Below 0 means something that is less than 0, so that would be a negative number, right? That would be negative 1. Okay, the next one is which integer represents the scenario? A plant grows 3 meter taller. Which is the correct option? The correct option is because that is something that is growing. Yes, that would be a positive number. Very good. So that would be 3. The correct option is 3. Which integer represents the scenario 2 feet below sea level? Which is the correct option? Which is the correct option? Yes, above sea level. So that would be no, that is above sea level, not below. So it would be oh yes, that is below. Sorry, 2 feet below sea level. That would be a negative number. Very good. That is negative 2. Sorry, I thought above sea level. Okay, which integer represents the scenario 4 meter above sea level? So which is the correct option? Which is the correct option? That would be above sea level. So that would be a positive number, right? Losing 4 crayons from a set. Which is the correct option? Losing 4 crayons, that is a loss, right? And losses are represented by the negative number, so it would be negative 4. Okay, which integer represents the scenario 1 passenger gets on the bus? So which is the correct option? The correct option is because yes, that would be a positive number. Which integer represents the scenario 5 fewer inches of rain this year? Yes, that would be a negative number because that is less than the previous year, so that would be represented by a negative number. Okay, which integer represents the scenario 5 more centimeters of rain this year? The correct option is more here, that would be a positive number. So it is a positive 5. 2 meters below the surface, which is the correct option? The correct option is below surface area, so that would be below the surface, so that would be a negative number, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let's just start with the next lesson, that is absolute value and the um, opposite numbers, right? Okay, let me just see if that is the same lesson. Okay, the next one is absolute values and opposite integers. Okay, so what do you know about absolute values? What is absolute value? So you can note down the definition. Absolute values are always positive values, right? Whenever you have to calculate the absolute value of number, you can like this, right? This sign is for absolute value and it is always a positive number. No matter if the number is positive or negative, the result is always a positive number, right? No negative numbers allowed in the absolute value. So absolute value of any number is a positive number, right? For example, you have to calculate the absolute value of negative 9. So what is the absolute value? The correct option is 9, right? No negative. The absolute values are always positive values, right? So that would be 9. Okay, the next one we have to do is opposite numbers. So what is the opposite number? Opposite number means the same number with the opposite sign, right? Or either you can say the same number on the other side of the zero, the same distance on the other side of the zero, right? For example, if you have a number that is negative 61, you have to calculate the opposite of negative 61, right? So the opposite of negative 61 is same distance, like from 0 to negative 61 it is here. So on the opposite side it would be 0 to positive 61, so it would be a positive. So you, in easy words, you can say the opposite of a negative number is always a positive number and the opposite of a positive number is always a negative number, right? Okay, let's just start with the practice questions, right? Okay, so what is the absolute value of 3? Which is the correct option? The correct option is yes, that would be 3. So no matter if the number is positive or negative, the absolute value is always a positive value, right? Okay, what is the opposite of 91? Which is the correct option? option is negative 1, right? Opposite of a positive number is always a negative number, right? The same number with the negative sign. What is the opposite of negative 98? The correct option is, yes, it is positive 98, right? What is the opposite of negative 34? The correct option is positive 34, right? What is the absolute value of 44? The correct option is 44, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson, right? Okay, the next lesson is 19 number line. Let me just see which is the next one. The next one is integers on number line, right? And the rest of the lessons are related to number line. So we'll discuss them together and then we'll do the practice questions, right? So we have already discussed a bit of number line, but let's just do it again. Okay, here you have 0. On the right hand side, you have all positive numbers. And on the left hand side, you have all negative numbers, right? Okay, hold on. Okay, so on the right hand side of the 0, you have all positive numbers, and on the left hand side of the 0, you have all negative numbers, right? So the numbers on the right hand side are getting greater and greater, right? Each next number is greater than the previous one. Like after 5, you have 6, and 6 is greater than 5, right? Then you have 7, and 7 is greater than 6. This way, so the numbers are growing on the right hand side. And on the left hand side, the numbers are getting smaller and smaller. Right after negative 5, the next number is negative 6, and negative 6 is less than negative 5. So as you are moving far from 0 on the left hand side, the numbers are getting smaller and smaller, right? Negative 5 is even less than negative 1, right? So small negative numbers are getting smaller and smaller, right? This is very important line. As you are moving far from 0, the numbers are getting smaller and smaller, right? So what if you are comparing two numbers, right? If you are comparing a positive and a negative number, for example, you are going to compare 5 and negative 5. So positive numbers are always greater than 0 and always greater than the negative numbers, right? Negative numbers are less than 0, and when you are comparing a positive and a negative number, positive number is always greater, right? Or you can write negative 4 is less than 3, right? Positive numbers are always greater than the negative numbers. And when you are comparing two negative numbers, what you have to do then? For example, you are comparing negative 8 and negative 2. So here is negative 2, but negative 8 is somewhere here. Negative 8 is far from 0. That means negative 8 is less than negative 2, right? They are less than positive numbers, but when you are comparing negative 8 and negative 2, negative 8 is far from 0. So negative 8 is less than negative 2, right? Okay, when you are, for example, you have to compare negative 1 and negative 9. So negative 1 is here, right next to 0, and negative 9 is somewhere here far from 0. So negative 1 is greater than negative 9, right? The numbers that are near to 0 are greater than the numbers that are far from 0 on the negative side, right? So this is, that's all related to number line. Let's just do the practice questions, right? Okay, integers on number line. Let's just start with the practice questions. Okay, type the missing number. So here is the number line. Which number is missing on the number line? The correct option is, which number is missing? The number between 0 and negative 2 is negative 1, right? So that would be negative 1, because on the, you are on the negative side of the number line. So right next to 0 you have negative 1, right? Type the missing number. So which number is missing? Very good. The number between negative 2 and negative 4 is negative 3. Type the missing number. So which number is missing? The correct option is, yes, you are on the positive side of the number line. So the number would be positive. That would be positive 4. Very good. Type the missing number. So which number is missing? The correct option is 5. Very good. Type the missing number. So which number is missing? The correct option is negative 5. Type the missing number. So which number is missing? The correct option is, yes, it is 7. Right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let's just start with the next lesson, right? Okay, the next lesson is graph integers on horizontal and vertical number lines. So the graphing integer is exactly the same the number line, right? How do you put the numbers on the number line? Okay, graph negative 4 on the number line. So which is the correct option? Option 1 or option 2? Basically, you have to see where you have to put the negative 4 on the number line, right? Just look at this one. This one represents the negative 1, right? But here is the one that represents the negative 4, right? You just have to, circle the number you're graphing. Right here is -4. This is all a number line, but you have to represent the -4, so you have to circle the -4, right? So that would be the second option. Graph -5 on the number line. So which is the correct option, 1 or 2? Which is the correct option? You have to graph -5, right? So just draw a number line and highlight the -5, right? That's all you have to do. So that would be option number 1. What happened? Is it difficult one? Graph 1 on the number line. Which is the correct option, 1 or 2? That would be the second option. That would be the easiest chapter, I think. The second one is the correct option, right? You have to graph 1. Okay, graph 5 on the number line. So which is the correct option? How you graph 5? The correct option is, that would be the second one, right? Okay, graph 0 on the number line. So which is the correct option? Here is 0, right? The second option is the correct one. Okay, graph 2 on the number line. So which is the correct option? How you graph 2? The second option is the correct option. Okay, how do you graph 4 on the number line? Which is the correct option? That would be the second option, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is compare and order integers, right? So we have discussed how, oh, I forgot to discuss order integers. Okay. Okay. Which words makes the statement true? 0 and 1. Which is the correct option? Which option is the correct one? 0 is less than 1, right? The correct option is 0 is less than 1. Both of the numbers are not positive. 0 is neither positive nor negative. Okay, which words makes the statement true? -3 and -1. Which is the correct option? Which option is the correct one? -3 and -1. You can see -3 is far from 0, right? But -1 is here. So -3 is less than -1, right? -3 is less than -1. Okay, which words make the statement true? -3 and 3. Which is the correct option? No one is answering. Why? -3 and 3. Negative numbers are always less than the positive numbers. So -3 is less than 3. Which words make the statement true? -3 and -2. Which is the correct option? -3 is -3 is less than -2. Which words make the statement true? -2 and -1, which is the correct option? -2 is far from 0 than -1, right? That means -2 is less than -1. Which words make the statement true? 3 and -1. We are going comparing a positive and a negative number, right? So positive numbers are always greater than the negative numbers. So 3 is greater than -1. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let's just start with the next lesson. Okay, the next one is put integers in order. So let's just see how do we arrange up the integers, right? So as you know, negative numbers are always smaller than the positive numbers, right? So you are given the numbers 5, -2 and -5. But you have two negative numbers given, -2 and -5, right? So we know that -5 is farther from 0 than -2. So that means -5 is the smallest one. Then you have -2, and positive numbers are always greater than negative numbers. So then in the last one is 5. That would be -5, -2 and 5. So option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, put these integers in order from least to greatest. So which is the correct option? You have 0, -3 and -1. Which is the correct option? The correct option is option number 1. -3 is the smallest one. Then you have -1 and 0. Option number 1 is the correct option. -3, -1 and 0. Right? Okay, so the correct option is option number, yes, that would be 1, 0, 3 and 4. They all are positive, so they are 0, 3 and 4. Okay, put these integers in order from least to greatest. So how do you arrange them? 3, -1, -2. How do you arrange them? -2 is the least one, right? So you have -2, -1 and 3, right? -2, -1 and 3. The next one is put these integers in order from least to greatest. So which is the correct option? -1, 3, 1. Which is the correct option? How do you arrange them? The correct option is least to greatest. You have to arrange, right? So it would be -1, 1 and 3. The option number 1 is the correct option. Put these integers in order from least to greatest. So which is the correct option? The correct option is -2, 0 and 2, right? The correct option is negative 2, 0 and 2. Option number 1 is the correct option, right? Put these orders in integers from least to greatest. So which is the correct option? Least to greatest. So correct option is very good. That would be negative 4, negative 3 and 5. Negative 4, negative 3 and 5. Very good. Okay, put these integers in order from least to greatest. Negative 2, 4, negative 4. So which is the correct option? The correct option is negative 4, negative 2 and 4, right? Very good. Option 1 is the correct option. Put these integers in order from least to greatest. Which is the correct option? The correct option is yes, that is negative 5, negative 3 and negative 1 is the correct option. Put these integers in order from least to greatest. So which is the correct option? The correct option is negative 1, 3 and 4, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we're working on grade 6 maths. Chapter we're working on is integers, and the lessons we have covered from the integer are understanding integers, absolute values and opposite values, integers on number line, graph integers on horizontal and vertical number lines, compare and order integers and put integers in order, right? So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions from for the lessons we did today. So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday, 5 to 9, right? So if you have any question, you can ask. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. Please ask question if you have any. No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye everyone. Bye.